What's good, y'all? It's the Maker Manager here, checking in. And today I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to build a bigger chest, man. So right here, this is my chest and calf workout today. Right here, I'm doing about 265 on bench press for 5 reps, taking it nice, slow, and controlled. And, doing as many reps as I can, know that I can do. And had to do that little grinder at the end there. So I did 2 sets for every exercise. And depending on which exercise it was, I did a drop set or a rest pause on the second set. So I only recorded the first set of each one. So right here you're gonna see me doing some incline dumbbell press, and I've been working on my depth lately for these, and the hundreds are feeling a lot more comfortable now. I've really been focused on being able to get the depth for the dumbbells, instead of being one of those people that's up in there doing a half reps, man. If it's too heavy for you, don't lift it, man. So let's talk a little bit about how to build a big chest. So a lot of people, when they want to build a chest, they jump right over to the bench press, and that's not what you really need to be doing, okay? Well, as your only exercise, at least. So right here, I'm doing an example of another exercise, which is a dumbbell fly, which is one of the other moves that you need to be doing if you want to, learn how to build your chest up properly. So you can do a bench press, which is a compound movement, which means that it's involving, more muscles and, multiple joints pretty much, and more muscles are doing work. And then there's always a chance that one of the muscles that's assisting the movement will give out first. So then we turn to isolation movements like the dumbbell flies right here. You can do this flat, or I do them on an incline later, which targets a little bit more upper chest. You can do these isolation movements that's better isolate, your chest, and you get a little bit better of a contraction. And you get to get the dumbbells really close together at the top and really get to squeeze your pecs. It's a little bit closer than you usually would, if you're doing a dumbbell press. So I recommend that if you're trying to build a bigger chest, you really want to make sure that you incorporate presses and flies and from all kinds of different angles. So right here, I'm doing an example of low cable flies. I would usually do this with both handles, but when the gym is busy, sometimes you got to improvise. I don't like sitting around. So I just said, okay, fuck it, I'll just do one arm. So just taking it nice and slow, squeezing it at the top, controlling it on the way down. When you do isolation movements, in my opinion, they should be higher rep. So, pretty much anything past 10 reps is what you should be doing for these. And personally, when it comes to any exercise for any muscle group, I take my sets to failure. And that does mean that after the first set, I won't get as many reps as the last set, but that's actually good in my opinion and helps facilitate strength and muscular growth, okay? So, and this is how I've been training for years now, and it works for me, and I guarantee that, if as long as you have your nutrition and your supplements right, you're going to go ahead and, get results as well. So right here, so today it was 4 exercises first. Bench, incline dumbbell bench, the dumbbell flies, and then the low cable fly, and then you go back through in the reverse order with a different form of the exercise. So the first 4 kind of acted as kind of a pre-exhaust type of movement, which means that you're exhausting your chest before going on to another movement. Typically you would do isolation moves and then go to compound moves so that your chest is what fails, but right here you're doing a total of 4 exercises, so your chest is annihilated, okay? And then now when you're going back through, it's going to be a little bit harder to do the exercises, and your chest is going to fail. So you see I was grinding it out right there. And at this point, my chest is pumped, the reps hurt a little bit, but it's all about pushing through it. So that's what it's all about when it comes to bodybuilding, when you're trying to build muscle. So like I said, we're going to go back in reverse order through every exercise. And like I said, I did 2 sets for every exercise. For the higher rep ones, pretty much for the flies, I would do a rest pause, which means I rest 15 seconds after the second set and then do another set with the same weight. And then for the compound movements, which are the presses, I like to do drop sets on the second set, which is when you finish your set and then you drop the weight, usually 20 to 30%, and then do another set right away. So right here, I'm doing incline dumbbell flies. This is my favorite fly movement, to be honest, and at this point, my chest is, pretty much annihilated, but, I'm pushing through it, trying to do the best form that I possibly can, going down, getting that good stretch. When you do flies, you want to make sure that you try to keep your arms the same length the whole time, and really kind of like open your chest up a little bit, Don't be scared to push your shoulder blades into the seat a little bit so that you can get, your chest open and get that full stretch. And really by the end of these, man, I always feel a pump by the end of these, by the end of flies, because once you learn how to do them properly and you do the right weight, you're definitely going to start to feel it. Right here, this is me stretching, I guess. I left it in there because I thought it would look funny. So now I'm moving on to flat dumbbell bench, and I had to only use 70 pounds right here. And I don't like flat dumbbell bench just because it's not a comfortable move for me, I would say. And also I feel like it's a lot more dangerous for your shoulders if you do the form improperly. So whenever you do dumbbell bench of any kind, you always want to kind of turn your elbows in a little bit to about 45 degrees or so. So if you look at the dumbbells, I have them slanted because I'm really cautious when it comes to flat dumbbell bench, because that's how a lot of guys hurt their shoulders, because they like to have their elbows flared straight out. And at that point, you're putting your shoulder, at a very, I would say, weakened state, and you're gonna hurt yourself. So turn them in a little bit, focus on the contraction, take a nice slow control. So right here, the flat, I was gonna do flat reverse grip bench press, but I had to do it on an incline because all the benches were taken up. It's a little bit less comfortable when you do it on an incline bench like this, but I had to get it done, and I didn't want to sit around. Everybody was in there doing chest, so I was like, okay, I gotta make it work. So with reverse grip, I would say only do it if you're a little bit advanced. What it does is when you turn your wrist under like that, it targets a little bit more upper chest. Technically, by the studies, it says about 33% more activation in upper chest. So those are 8 different moves that you can incorporate, work them into your routine, and see how it goes for you. Next, I'm doing calves. So right here, I'm just doing some regular standing calf raises. My calves are actually pretty strong. I max out on pretty much all the machines, so I have to kind of improvise here and there. And the calves is the same thing, but it's only 6 exercises. So it's 3 exercises and then going back through in the opposite order. And so right here, I'm just doing single leg calf raises on the leg press machine. I like to do, a lot of single leg calf exercises here and there lately, just because, like I said, the machines, the max weight is actually pretty easy, as you'll see when I'm doing other ones like the angle calf raise or the donkey calf raise. It gets pretty easy for me just because I've been training my calves consistently for a long time, and they're really strong and they're actually pretty developed. So right here, anything with calf training, my rule of thumb is just to make sure that you let your heel go past your toe and then push back up and try to get your toe past your heel. That's like the best way that you can really, get the fullest out of your, whatever calf exercise you're doing. So right here, the seated calf raise was taken, so I had to do these modified seated calf raises where I use dumbbells. It's a little bit difficult and kind of dangerous. I actually smashed my finger up today doing these on the second set. You're not going to get to see it here, but be careful if you ever try these, okay? Just make sure you're holding dumbbells in place, you're not shifting them around, and when you do it nice slow. You might see that you can do a lot more weight than you would on the normal seated calf raise, and that's very normal. Just take it nice and slow. See how I'm squeezing it at the top, just trying to build that pump up. And towards the end, for this I was doing pretty high reps, so towards the end you'll start to feel it. Your calf's gonna get a little bit tight, and then you're gonna be good to go at that point. So when it comes to calf training, I really like to switch it up a lot. And I like to do, like a lot of higher rep movements, to be honest, and use a higher intensity. Right now, I'm following a program. It's called the Back and Forth program, designed by Dr. Jim Sapani. He's someone that, I've been following for a long time. I on and off do his programs, but even when I do his programs, I'll modify them in my own way, change exercises, add, intensity techniques and stuff like that, just to make it a lot harder, because at base level, it's hard for the average person, but for someone that's been working out for a while and your muscles are used to this stuff, you really have to add these intensity techniques. So here's actually one of my favorite calf exercises. I'm doing, I believe, 380. There's only week 1 stack left on there. And I'm going lighter than I was last week. I was doing a whole stack. So these are donkey calf raises. I really like the stretching feeling from these. You're gonna get it from another angle in a second. Just got feel like, I'm doing a calf exercise. Why shouldn't you be able to see my damn calves? So with this one, I really like to just focus on squeezing it at the top and getting the perfect stretch at the bottom, and just make sure that I feel it and I get the pump. So now you're gonna actually see it, and you see I'm going up, squeezing it, going back down. Like I said, if you look at my heels, they're going past my toes. You look at my toes, they're past my heels. So always remember that when you're doing your calf training, man. Very, very important. So this is pretty much a workout. There's one more exercise. It's the angle calf raise. It's just a standing calf raise at an angle, pretty much. And these are all for, I believe, like higher reps. It's like 10 or more. I'll put the specific ones on the screen, and also in the description box below. But that's pretty much what my workout was. today, and definitely go back and listen to the tips that I gave you, on chest. Remember, do your presses, but also do your isolation movements. Do your flat dumbbell flies. Do your incline dumbbell flies. Do the pec deck. Do the cable flies, high and low, and actually, even middle, like from the middle, and pull your hands together. So, hope you like the video, man. Don't forget to like the video, man. Leave a comment if you got a question, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'ma holler at y'all, man. Make a man out.